morning, folks. Mike Bertinoli, Great Basin Team 3, Planning Operations. Here's an operational update for today, July 21st. First off, I'll go around the map. Starting in Division Alpha, the change on the map that you're going to see today is we've started to develop containment lines. We're happy about that. In Monroe Canyon, you can see this black line that runs to the south. That's the beginning of areas of this fire that we feel is contained. It's a low, not likely that fire is going to progress beyond that. We're good, what we call painting it black. And I anticipate seeing that over the coming days, where we'll continue to get more containment on this fire. What Alpha's doing is doing direct line construction, just digging fire line down to the south, and they think they can get to this Hunts Lake area, right here on the map. From Hunts Lake, the terrain gets super steep. We can't get firefighters in there, it's just dangerous. So what we're going to do is put a piece of indirect line. Indirect line is just where we back off of the main fire edge. Gives us two options. We can allow the fire to back down to that indirect line, or in the right conditions we can put some fire on the ground and consume that fuel in between the main body and the line that we've constructed. So we'll put a piece of indirect line down to the southwest. You see a trail and a creek system. We'll carry that line over into, it's in better ground so we can work there, and then in the coming days we'll use one of those tactics to pull that fire together. Alright, let's move up to the northeast. This is branch 2, Division Golf. We've got Gabe Harry up there in the Long Flat and Big Lake areas. Lots of summer homes up in this area, and we've spent the last several days getting structure protection into place for these. So that looks like pumps, hoses, what we call pumpkins. They look like big orange swimming pools. Yeah, we've got all that in place, and what we're doing is getting ready to accept fire into that community should it decide to come up from the southwest. Move south into Division Mike. This is a busy part of the map. Matt's going to zoom into it a little bit. So a lot of activity in here. It's the same type of stuff that's happening in Gulf. In the Maggleby community, we're putting in all that same infrastructure, pumps, hoses. It's closer to the fire. If you maybe just, there you go, you can see we're about 2 miles from the main body of the fire into that Maggleby. So we're getting ready, should this fire move in from the southwest, to defend those structures. And how that looks is our crews have put together a real strategic plan. When it's time to defend those structures, it looks like, hey, engine 2437 is going to structure 45, and these are the actions they're going to take. So a lot of work's gone into that. Let's move south just a little bit. Coming into the fire area, over here by Bagley Ranch, this fire is probably the most active piece on our line. And it's backing down towards what we call this drop point 30 near Bagley Ranch. What we're doing is checking that up with helicopters. And when I say checking it up, it means we're allowing it to burn, but we'll strategically put buckets of water on it just to slow down that progression. And why we're doing that is we want it to come down to our lines, so that we've got a good solid piece of fire line that we can put out instead of all these little spot fires. Let's zoom into Monroe Meadows. So this is Division Whiskey. You might see some smoke on the hill today. Let me get him to switch his background. What we're going to do today, he changed his background to look at this vegetation. There are hundreds of little spot fires in there, and so to go in and put every one of them out with a hand tool is difficult to do. What we're going to do is we're going to use a highly skilled hand crew to put fire on the ground from roughly this location to the west. It's going to consume all that fire and give us what we call an anchor point, which is a solid place to work fire from. Clean all that up, be no more spot fires in there, and so that's a planned operation for today. Alright, zoom out and go south. We'll talk about Zulu. Okay, Zulu, southern part of the fire, Manning Meadows, summer homes in there. We've done a lot of work in here. We've got in and around these structures, mopping up, really just snuffing out that fire. This is another area where we're starting to see black line or containment, and we anticipate seeing that more so in the coming days as we work down to the southeast. So two more groups I'll talk about that really aren't manifested on the map. So our night division is out there, just making sure everything's good while our day group is sleeping. They're just holding everything in check. And then additionally, we've got a contingency group that's working out, I can't see it quite on this map, but working out by Burville, just looking at long-term options should our fire really get active. Last thing I'll highlight, what Matt's showing you here is our infrared. We get this daily, and it shows us intense pockets of heat that are on this fire. And as you can see, these little red dots are all over it, and so it's a lot to deal with. We have a long ways to go. We're particularly concerned about this area west of Magleby. And so over the coming days, we're developing plans to address this chunk of the fire through various methods, and likely it's going to be indirect. Again, I described that. Building a line off the fire's edge, because this is hard country. It's tough to get folks in there. So that's our challenge. We're working diligently towards it. Appreciate your time. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Thank you.